Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel. Well, it seems there is consensus that's reached on the subject of flat earth intelligence. I suspect that this is based on the overwhelming evidence that flat earthers and globe deniers are indeed extremely mentally challenged. The evidence is based on trying to explain some simple concept to flat earthers and globe deniers, which, as Mrs. B points out, is definitely akin to arguing with cows in a paddock.
No.
To give you some ideas of how simple-minded these people can be, here is an example, and mark my words, this fellow is not alone. I have heard this argument many times. In a recent debate with MC Toon, flat earther Hillside asked the question, how come the astronauts going to the moon were not blinded by the immense light from the moonlight? This is definitely a question a grade 5 level child could easily cope with, and it demonstrates the abject feeble-mindedness that flirts operate with. Any child would think for a moment and realize that the light from the whole moon represents the totality of moonlight, and not the tiny amount in comparison that the astronauts would experience on the way to the moon. It's that simple. Just as instructive were the comments left at the foot of my last Flat Earth Flogging video by well-known flat earther, A Man Like Me. He refuses to say which map do the expert flat earth navigators like himself, like Mitchell, like Flatzoid, Quantum Eraser, Oakley and Riley use. In fact, I have not managed to get a single flat earther to answer that question directly. A Man Like Me began by asserting that I was building and burning a straw man, and that he did not live on a model. I reminded him that he does have a model, albeit ridiculous and inadequate. As a flat earther, he is part of a group of expert navigators who claim that sextants and celestial navigation only happens on a flat earth. In fact, this has become quite the staple of flat earth rhetoric, especially with Quantum Eraser and Oakley groups. So when I pressed him on which map exactly do these expert flat earth navigators use, he responded as follows. Maps are straw men. You don't have an accurate map either. Which map is correct? The one with the North Pole or the one without it? If your map says that Greenland is 100k square miles and Africa has 11 million square miles, would you believe it? Maps are a complete waste of time. Straw men. Maps are not physical evidence of the shape of Earth. I just thought I'd say that in case you didn't realize it. Now this is instructive. A man like me clearly understands the dilemma that he and Oakley, Quantum Eraser and Mitchell etc. face. They know that a clear answer ties them explicitly to a model and a map, which of course is based on a globe. And that's ultimately the opportunity for us to have a go at them. Let's look at the most common one we're all familiar with, the standard Mercator projection. Of course, everyone understands that landmasses closer to the poles are distorted. However, map scales and instructions account for the distortion, and the map works. To be fair to a man like me, as a mere victim of the flat earth grift, I don't think he knows this. When I pressed him again which map flat earth navigators used, I got the bog standard scripted rant. It's worth listening to understand the mentality and degree of squirming that flat earthers must endure to support the grift and lies. And I quote, Professor Phil Bell, yeah, like I said, we get around just fine. Maps are flat earth tools. How accurate is your globe when on one map of it you have a North Pole and another you don't? When Greenland is 100k square miles and Africa has 11 million. There are many more examples of this. How accurate is your counterfeit globe? Maps are conjured from the minds of men who want to hide natural resources. It's only as accurate as to go from place to place. As far as we know, you are never high enough to truly see the layout of all the land. Maps work on flat Earth because the globe is a counterfeit. and they are all flat Earth. Can you get a proper elevation angle from a curved adjacent? Again, we still don't know which specific map is used by the flat Earth navigators. So here is my challenge. I would like flat earthers to admit that they don't know anything about navigation and that all navigation is done with instruments and maps designed to work exclusively on globe Earth. Otherwise, which map do flat Earth navigators use? And how come sailors allegedly misusing sextants when they follow instructions in sextant manuals, navigation textbooks, navigation certification courses, don't routinely get lost? Or, as Riley implies, do they fluke it? Let's face it, the grift is naked and bare for all to see. It's clearly aimed at simpletons who didn't finish high school and, having squandered their opportunity to be educated, now feel they deserve to be treated special. Well, you certainly are seen as special, but probably not in the way you hoped for. Well folks, that's enough for this video. I'm sure the challenges and messages are clear. To the victim flat earthers watching who are not part of running the grift, please take stock. Get yourself some self-respect and quit being a victim of these grifters and swindlers. You can be better than that. Everyone, please subscribe and especially leave comments. Please look out for yet another flat earth flogging video very shortly. Cheers.